from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Fewer kids walking to and from school today. For those that did, though, they had to bundle up to protect themselves from the -2-degree temperatures and even colder wind chills. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. 2 below was actually the heat wave for the day.
This morning, double-digit below zero temps, even more dangerous wind chills. And tonight, well, let's find out what we need to prepare for. Hutch?
Well, definitely have those mittens handy. Once again, we have a wind chill advisory for the entire region. If you're traveling anywhere, be sure you have that survival kit in your vehicle and bring blankets just in case you get stranded by roadside. Temperatures will be dipping down very low tonight. Now, we don't have as much wind as we had the past 24 hours, but this will be our coldest air temperatures of the season thus far, thanks to the banks of snow, crystal clear skies, and now calming winds. Temperatures are and have been below zero for most of the valley throughout the day. Here's your planner. Fargo-Moorhead will see temperatures down to around 10 to 12 below by the time we talk again on Valley News Live tonight at 10 o'clock. So we have our coldest night ahead. And now a chance for some snow as we head into the weekend. I'll detail that and how much you can expect on our slippery roads here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks for the insight, Hutch. New details tonight surrounding Sunday's arrest of Kirsten Baszler, North Dakota's superintendent of public instruction. She was arrested for simple assault involving her fiancé. North Dakota law does not allow us to broadcast the recording of the 911 call made by the fiancé, but we were able to listen to it. The call was made about 1:45 Sunday morning. Baszler's fiancé tells the dispatcher, "She threw a bottle at me. I'm bleeding from the nose. There are witnesses and blood everywhere." The dispatcher asks, "Who is it?" The caller says, "Kirsten Baszler, North Dakota Superintendent of Public Instruction." He went on to say, "She threw things everywhere. My nose is crushed. I want to file charges on her." Baszler's attorney appeared in court yesterday and pleaded not guilty on her behalf to the simple assault charge.
Well, it's been a long-awaited investigation after the death of a Fergus Falls City Council member in December. A state patrol investigations determined 52-year-old Timothy Rundquist's death was a suicide. According to the patrol, Rundquist intentionally drove his car head-on into Ashby police car along Highway 59 near Elbow Lake. Investigators say Rundquist was about to lose one of his part-time jobs as a Stevens County assistant attorney. They say that he was also depressed. An autopsy found no drugs or alcohol in his system when he died, and Rundquist was also a business law professor at MSUM.
Suicide rates across the nation are rising, and North Dakota is expanding programs to help recognize the signs. Last year across the state, 138 people took their lives. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric talked with the Department of Health about the new initiatives.
Emergency 911. Help me, my brother's dead. What's your name? Mickey. What do you mean by your brother's dead? He killed himself.
Typically what happens at the dispatch center in progress calls like that is we have the call taker who is taking phone calls, the phone call, and then the dispatcher is sending.
The Red River Regional Dispatch Center is no stranger to suicidal phone calls, and part of their job is to keep the person on the phone until help arrives.
You know, just be a calm, compassionate voice to that person until a physical person gets there to assist them.
It's a call they've taken at least 5 times in the past 24 hours in the FM area alone.
And the training is really geared to helping community members identify those thoughts or identify those people, and then also to help those people get referred to a higher level of care where they will be able to get the help that they need.
The North Dakota Department of Health is taking the issue of suicide head on with the release of their Safe Talk and Question, Persuade, Refer programs.
We've introduced these new programs because they're great programs to teach anybody how to identify somebody that's at risk of suicide and experiencing those thoughts. It's not just geared towards professionals.
Both the Department of Health and the Red River Regional Dispatch Center urge you to talk with someone and seek help if you are experiencing suicidal thoughts. In Fargo, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Anyone wanting more information about North Dakota's new suicide prevention and education programs can call them or visit their website.
Violent crimes are decreasing, but other crimes are seeing an increase. That's from the Grand Forks Police Department's annual crime stats. Last year, officers responded to more than 42,000 calls, which is a 2.7% decrease from more than 43,000 calls in 2013. But despite the decrease in calls, the number of reported crimes in the category was still 4% less than the 10-year average. Violent crimes, including murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault, saw an overall decrease of 13% in 2014. But property crime, that saw a 13% increase during the same period. In light of these stats, the Grand Forks Police Department says that it recognizes the importance of remaining vigilant in the enhancement of the quality of the Grand Forks community.
State, local, and Air Force officials signed off on an agreement today to build the Grand Sky Technology Park at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. Now, this could lead to a major new industry in North Dakota.
And the 117-acre park will house companies devoted to research and development of drones. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us what this is all about.
And so we had to come up with something else.
This partnership between Grand Forks County, which set up the deal to build the technology park, along with private business and the Air Force, is a one-of-a-kind deal.
This is unique. This is a one-of-a-kind technology park in the country. And that means unique opportunity.
Officials say the technology park for the research and development of drones here could one day create as many as 3,000 jobs. And that means more job opportunities right here at home for UND Aerospace graduates and graduates of Northland College's UAS maintenance program in Thief River.
Several state universities have UAV training opportunities, like the University of North Dakota's UND Center of Excellence for UAS, that are expected to supply qualified labor for the park. This gives new graduates greater opportunity to find in-state work and enables the state of North Dakota to retain homegrown talent.
And actual construction of the park will begin very soon.
The site construction will start as early as possible in the spring for infrastructure and roads to bring utilities out to the project site.
Then, the tech park's anchor, aerospace giant Northrop Grumman, is expected to put up the first building and start bringing in employees next year. It's expected other companies will follow.
As we continue to develop all these aspects of unmanned aerial systems, then the companies that manufacture all the various components want to come and be part of it. That's the idea here.
It's an idea that's now becoming a reality that could lead to a major new industry in North Dakota. From the Grand Forks Air Force Base, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Grand Sky will also be the first commercial drone airport in the country while using the runways of the air base.
The Keystone Pipeline bill is headed to the president's desk after passing the House and Senate. Though it was passed with bipartisan support, only 9 Democrats supported the bill. The Keystone Pipeline has been a bill supported by Republicans for years. During the last legislative session of Congress, they were in the minority, unable to garner the Democratic votes needed to pass the bill. But this time, magic number 9 did the trick.
I didn't feel like I was fighting a partisan battle as much as I felt like I was trying to fight this notion that this has something to do with carbon.
This bill was approved last week, but Congress is likely waiting until they return from recess to send it to the White House. Once the bill gets to the Oval Office, the president will have 10 days to sign it.
More parking could be coming to downtown Fargo. This morning, the Parking Commission met to collaborate on a number of downtown parking topics with the new operator, Interstate Parking Company. The hope is to add at least a parking ramp, and 5 possible locations are under consideration.
As we continue to grow, we've only 50% developed, so as we continue to grow, we're going to need to incorporate more parking into mixed-use buildings. So you won't see these as, you didn't see any examples of standalone parking ramps. They're all integrated with commercial and sidewalk and residential space.
The parking ramp locations vary. Some are owned by the city, others are privately owned, and the ramp would be multi-level, holding about 300 to 600 spots, but it could take up to 2 years before it's built.
A rich tradition in the Red River Valley dating back to 1999 is starting up this weekend. It's the spring snow goose hunt. The season typically starts around mid-February. It's a chance to catch the geese as they return home after the winter. And if you're itching to begin the hunt, there's some paperwork that you need to fill out while you wait. Non-residents will have to pay a fee of $50 to get their license. Residents can use their old license, but will need to get a new one on April 1st. Hunters will also need an HIP number or a Harvest Information Program number. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, Moorhead's top cop is pushing for more restrictions when it comes to massage businesses.
Clear skies and calm winds for many will cause temperatures to be the coldest of the season as we start our Thursday. All details on some snow in your forecast coming up next.